big, beautiful, loving planet called Earth. I thought about this quite a bit recently, and it's not just because I went and saw the movie Anyone But You with Sydney Sweeney, Glenn Powell, and a bunch of other actors and actresses you may have heard of, like Dylan Mulroney. He's in it. But this goes back even farther than that. Everyone, and this is just my personal take, not everyone has to believe my personal take on this, but everyone deserves love. And it's not easy to find love. It's not easy to be in love. It takes a lot of work. And I know that I haven't been the most lovable person on this planet. And everyone has a right to say that I'm not lovable, or that I don't deserve love, or that I haven't worked at it yet. And maybe they're right, and maybe I'm just kidding myself with how I live my life. And I'm going to continue to live my life. This doesn't mean that I'm thinking of anything bad or anything like that. I'm just saying my love is hard to earn. Just like everyone else's love is hard to earn. And with that, it may take another 5 years, it may take another 10 years, it may take another 20 years before my love has been realized, or me loving someone else has been realized. Now, I know everyone thinks that the way I love people is maybe just an infatuation or an obsession or a lust. And maybe for a time it was. But you have to build a relationship. You have to work at it. You have to make things happen on all kinds of different terms. Whether that be money terms, whether that be... every relationship goes through arguments. It's not a healthy relationship unless you have little spats or you have fights in a relationship, because I've witnessed it firsthand. Not because I've done it or have not done it, but I've seen my friends go through the exact same situations. And I know divorce is a high possibility, or not a high possibility, but it happens quite a bit, more than anything else. But that's because they don't want to have arguments. They don't want to fight. That's what makes the relationship work, is that you have the arguments. Maybe, and most of the time the guy is wrong. I will grant you that. Most of the time, any man who has an argument with a woman or their partner or whatever it is, they're wrong most of the time. Or no, not even most of the time, all of the time. And that's what I realized over the course of my 34 years of life. I've witnessed fights, whether it's friends having fights in their marriage or in their relationship. And it doesn't just have to be friends. It could be a family member. It could be anything. That's what I've learned from, not only from my parents, but from my friends, from my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents. Everyone has to have little spats or little fights or little arguments in a relationship in order to make it work. But it's how you come out the other side of that fight or that spat or whatever it is. Not physical, just and maybe sometimes those words can be hurtful. I will grant you that. But every single argument that a relationship has helps that relationship. Now, I haven't ever been in a relationship, and I know it sounds like I'm speaking from experience because I'm talking about this, but everything that I've ever seen in my life, whether it's a family member, a very close friend, even friends that I haven't talked to in a while, they always say there's a disagreement. Let's call it that happens, and once you've apologized and you tried making it right, that's what makes the relationship amazing. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be the case for me, and maybe it will, because arguments help. They really do. Um, that's all I want to say. Now, I could ramble on and on and on and on about how hard it is to fight for my love. Because it is very, extremely hard. And you guys know that over the course of my lifetime, I've thought about this over and over and over and over again of how well I'd be in a relationship. Or how well I'd be as a husband. Or whatever that may be. I don't know if I want kids. I've said before on this channel that I don't want kids. And maybe that's true. But I know that I want to experience a relationship at some point. And I know I'm not getting any younger. I'm almost 35. We're about 3 months away from my 35th birthday. Or 3.5 months. But let's be real here. Relationships can happen at any time in a person's life. Whether that be a high school relationship, whether that be a relationship after high school, whether that be a relationship in college. That kind of goes hand in hand with that. It could be a relationship that has nothing to do with schooling. It could be any sort of, relationship, finding love. All of that starts when you're ready. And I haven't fully been ready. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you on that. And I don't know when I will be ready. It may take another year. It may take another 6 months. It may take another 5 years. I can't fully definitively tell you when that relationship will happen for me. But I know it will happen at some point in my life. Whether it's later on in my 30s, whether it's early on in my 40s, whatever that is, it will happen at some point. And I've said time and time again on this channel, it has to be with someone in the celebrity world. Outside of those, those ones that I may have mentioned about a couple months ago. And you guys know what those are. But I realize that may be selfish or that may have been uncalled for. But I still believe in my heart of hearts that it's someone that's on YouTube or that it's someone famous or something along those natures. And I know that seems ridiculous and far-fetched and out there and crazy. But in my heart of hearts, and this is for me to figure out for myself, because I know that not everything is going to work out the way you expect it to work out. But I know in my heart of hearts, with all my love, it has to be someone in that YouTube world, that acting world, that whatever world that is, that famous world that exists. It has to be a part of that world. Now, I'm not going to shy away from anyone who's not part of that world, but I prefer that, and I know it sounds like I'm contradicting here, because I'm saying one thing and another thing could happen, but I'm just being realistic for myself, because I have been on YouTube for almost 12 years. I have been part of that world for a little bit of time. Now, I'm not saying I'm a famous YouTuber by any stretch of the imagination, but I am part of that YouTube world that's existed for 12 years, almost 12 years for me. And I believe, for me personally, that she's part of that YouTube world. She's part of that acting world. She's part of that, modeling world or whatever it may be, or that music world. And I don't know when it'll happen. It could take years from now. But I do know at the end of the day that it will happen. And every single day that this is going to be my outro, because I kind of messed up the outro yesterday. But every single day that I live in 2024 is going to be one step closer to that goal. That end goal, which is to be in a relationship with a woman from either YouTube or acting or music or modeling or whatever that may be. And I know this outro might seem a little long, but I'm trying to work on some different outros every time. I think this one might stick, but I'm not 100% certain on that, so don't quote me on that. But I will see you tomorrow for a new vlog, and bye-bye.